she's very unself-aware but thinks she's extremely self-aware. So she is both incredibly insecure but also really vain. And she's got like kind of a victim complex but also a martyr complex, and she's got like this kind of huge ego, is also like extremely insecure. It's like a lot of interesting sort of contradictions in her as a character. And I think the kind of melodramatic language really works for that, because she also kind of has this like weird magical thinking. Like she does think that she's a character in one of her gothic horror novels. And then she also is like extremely religious and thinks that she's experienced all these miracles, and like she thinks she's had a stigmata before, which she just kind of like briefly mentions one off and is like, I was almost institutionalized, so I knew I had to quit talking about my stigmata. So I said that I'd cut myself, but I didn't. So we're kind of left thinking, like, okay, what's going on? Is Judith actually telling us the truth? And we can really see that Judith doesn't see the truth of what's going on entirely. Like, we know that she randomly married this guy, and it's a bit dangerous, but she is kind of convincing herself that it's fine, even though she also is a bit scared of him, even from the beginning. It's a very weird sort of paradox, but I think really fits the vibe. And so, in that sense, I think the style of writing really works. But then there's also moments where the writing is just like so kind of preposterous, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be laughing with the book or if I'm laughing at it. Like, let me read you my favorite line in the book. Okay, so this is just on page 22. This is like the first conversation that they've had. So his eyes ran up and down her body. I'm a man, he said, in the manliest tone she had ever heard. It's just so good. And I don't know like if that's kind of intentional, or if like some of those sort of like exaggerated, like somewhat ridiculous bits of prose are like a wink at the reader, if it's supposed to like contribute to that aesthetic, or if it's just like kind of bad writing. And I just haven't really quite made sense of it yet. I'm enjoying it more now. I think at the beginning it felt a little bit rougher and a bit more sort of just like discombobulated with the flow of the story. But now that I'm getting farther into it, I'm enjoying it more. And I think that like when you're sort of like immersed in the sort of like aesthetic of the novel, things start fitting a bit better. But yeah, just those sort of like boundaries between, is this a contemporary novel or a period piece, still feel a bit off. But maybe that's part of the point. Maybe it's just supposed to make the reader feel a bit like unsettled or unsure of the narrative. But yeah, it's an interesting book for sure.